What's going on, guys? This is Star Blast Studios coming here with a brand new video, and today, if you can't already tell by the title, we're going to be talking about the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, and we are going to be going into the spoilers of the film. So thank you so much for stopping by, but you know, if you don't want to listen to any spoilers, well, I do advise you to click off.
Get the hell out of here!
Anyway, today I'm with Champ96DP. How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. I just saw the movie today, and oh my god, I have a lot of things to say. Anyway, if you haven't already, subscribe to Star Blast Studios, and if you have a chance, look at my channel. I do some live action films and some DBZ stop motion, so just a self promotion right there. But yeah, great to be on here.
Yeah, man, actually, legitimately go check out Champ's channel. I'm telling you guys, from my perspective, he uploaded a new video, a new part to Dragon Ball Versus.
Dragon Ball Versus, a fan-made stop motion.
His last episode was last year, so that's one thing both of our series have in common with our yearly uploads of our series. Anyway.
Hey, you like Dragon Ball? I like Dragon Ball. Hey, we're both Dragon Ball. Look at that.
Alright, so let's actually go through the Broly movie, and yeah, click off right now. Like I said, we are going into spoilers. This is not the territory you want to be in. But if you don't care about spoilers and you just want to hear our opinion, even if you're gonna hear this, you need to see the movie anyway, because this movie is
Give
one
Toei
of
and
the
Funimation
best
your money. Give them your money. Go see it.
In my opinion, this is one of the best Dragon Ball. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say that this is my favorite Dragon Ball movie. I know a lot of people have different opinions, but I think if you look at it later down the line, okay, if you look at this movie, later down the line, without the hype blinding you, I just personally feel like this would be the best actual Dragon Ball movie. It's just there's so much stuff in this movie that fills us in, so that just gives you all the stuff you wanted from a Dragon Ball film. You got obviously Broly, you got Bardock. So you know what? Let's start it all off, champ. So a brief rundown. We start off in the actual movie with a little bit of a prequel. So you know what, champ? I'm gonna let you go through the prequel right now.
All right, so this is kind of a soft reboot on the DBZ, the Dragon Ball's lore. So we start off basically back on planet Vegeta, and we see King Cold and Frieza basically arriving on the planet Vegeta. And fun fact, Frieza was not controlling the Saiyans the whole time. It was King Cold. Yeah, Daddy King Cold was the first one who met the Saiyans. So that's interesting. And we see them give the Saiyans the Scouters, which is also interesting. And yeah. We get to see how Frieza came into power, ruling over the Saiyans, and we got to see how, you know, they gave him the Scouters. And it's funny because, you know, not a lot of the Saiyans can actually shoot Ki Blast. So once he turns on the Scouter, he's like, oh, I see he got snipers positioned everywhere. Oh, he's dead. Anyway, these lovely Scouters, take them. Basically, it's interesting how they gave us some history on the Saiyan.
Yeah, bro, like, I think one of the best things about this movie, not even going into the stuff before this, like going in and Toriyama actually telling the story of the Saiyans, going into the backstory of Paragus, gave him the room to talk about so much other things, and I'm so glad that he actually went in there and talked about these kinds of things, because not only does it make it so that if you didn't watch certain things of Dragon Ball and you're going in there to actually watch certain like this movie, because, well, you know, you only got a certain amount of time to watch this movie in theaters, and you know there's only you can essentially watch stuff on film forever. You would essentially go in there, if you would watch Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, or just lots of other different Dragon Ball films in general, you'd go in there and you can essentially follow along practically the entire film. The entire thing is so respectful to Dragon Ball fans, like to the newer fans, and in my opinion, to people that aren't Dragon Ball fans in general and go in there to watch this movie. Even though it's not really recommended that I would say, hey, go watch this film. I wouldn't tell people to go watch this film first. Even if they did, you know, the movie is still respectful to those who never watched any Dragon Ball content. And that's something I really appreciate about them. Actually, Toriyama going in there including in some extra history, his own different versions of the events, and, you know, including Bardock in there. It was a really fun time, and it really, in my sense, helped all of Dragon Ball essentially evolve.
We're introduced to Paragus, you know, father of Broly, and it's funny because he has, like, his younger version of himself has the same design as he did in this last Broly movie, which is funny because it's like paying homage. So, you know, the whole thing goes, King Vegeta's like, who's this kid? And this Broly kid is super powerful. I don't like him. And Paragus is like, yeah, that's my son. You know, he can be like a help. You know, you can, you know, take care of Frieza if you want. And he's like, nah, screw that. He's gonna be a danger to everyone. So he like, King Vegeta's like, I'm gonna send him off to another planet. You know, a hostile world that, you know, has creatures who are gonna eat him. And Paragus is like, well, screw you. You're not my king. So he leaves, and he goes and gets his son with with some guy that kind of reminds me of Kaba for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's the armor that he's wearing. But he takes him along to this world called Vampra. I might be saying that wrong. Chat, don't kill me. But it was like a yellow, gassy planet, and they find Broly there, and apparently he's already killed like a bunch of nasty creatures. Because, you know...
Yeah, there was evidence that he turned into a great ape and essentially killed all the creatures around him, like, which is something that Paragus found out. Essentially, after that, what happened was Paragus found that after he found Broly, he realized that, you know, the ship was completely... they were stranded there. They couldn't go from that planet. The disc operation, whatever thing in there was cracked. They couldn't go. So they only had like 10 days worth of food in that ship. So Paragus does the evil scheme and then kills that Saiyan that went with them.
He kills him and then they eat him. They eat his tail, they eat his head, his heart. No, I'm just kidding. They don't. It's implied that they might have ate him. I don't know. That's kind of sick, to be honest. That's sick and twisted if they actually ate him. But I don't think they did. I think they just left his body to rot because he, you know, is like, nah. No more mouths to feed. We're just gonna be me and my son chilling. Which, you know, it's better be stranded on a planet than thrown in the trash like in the other movie with your son who just got, like, you know, stabbed like 15 times. Baby Broly in the other movie got it a lot worse. Don't worry. This one's like, he's fine. This is like, he's in paradise right now.
Alright, so, you know what? You go over the Bardock part because I know he's one of your favorite characters.
This is the part that had me concerned the most because I absolutely don't like Dragon Ball Minus, and this film took inspiration from that manga. And basically, it like resets the lore of Bardock, Goku going to Earth, and the Saiyans of like the Saiyan legend and Frieza destroying Planet Vegeta. However, this movie was able to take inspiration from that manga and make it a little bit better. So Bardock, like, he's not just like, oh, I have a feeling where Frieza's gonna blow up the Earth. No, he like sees the evidence, like, oh, why are all the Saiyans coming to Planet Vegeta? Why is Frieza just kind of hanging in his spaceship? I don't know about this. And there's rumors of him being worried about the Super Saiyan God and the Super Saiyan Legend. So Broly's like figuring it out. And then you...
Honestly, if you ask me, I feel like this version of Bardock, Toriyama, because he only had so many pages and so many panels, he couldn't really express that part of Bardock. He had to like, oh well, I have a feeling Frieza's gonna destroy the planet, because you know how it is with like extra pages, extra bonus stuff at the end of mangas like Jacko the Galactic Patrolman. He doesn't really have a lot of room to go in and explain everything, and this movie was his one time where he had the opportunity to, which is why I feel like he was so enthusiastic, where he gets to take a whole new character and make it his own, and also expand on his already created story.
So basically you're telling me that Toriyama is Dutch Vandalin for Red Dead Redemption 2. Shout out to my Red Dead fans out there. he got a plan, but it's like mostly half-assed. Back to Bardock. I like what they did. It was a little bit cliche of having him like, oh, all my life I've been a soldier destroying stuff, but now I can like save my son. You know, it was a little cliche, but I still liked it. It still gave Bardock somewhat of a character arc, unlike in the original where Bardock just kind of like was still the same throughout. He just like appreciated his son a little bit more.
Excuse me.
And I do like
keeping that
Gina. I like to see. I did like seeing her, you know, on the big screen, seeing her animated and everything. Because I guess she's a very big fan favorite, especially to the DBZ girls. You know, everyone's cosplaying her. You know, everyone likes her. I mean, she's cool. She cuts the meat. You know, I like a woman who can I like a woman who can cook for me. You know.
Yeah, bro. She serves the meat.
Yeah. And there's like a 5-year skip between Frieza coming to Planet Vegeta and him blowing it up.
Oh, hold on. Before we get to that, let's actually talk about the fact that they might have cut out the scene where Bardock actually approached Frieza's army in space. Because if you guys didn't notice, there was a scene where like Frieza, like you saw Frieza's point of view of Planet Vegeta. It was like from behind him, and you can see that his army was actually right in front of there in space. And before Bardock actually shot that blast to try to stop Frieza's supernova, his clothes were already torn up, implying that that scene had to have happened. I don't see why the animators would have his clothes already torn up if they hadn't already established that part in the actual animation.
That scene happened so fast I may have missed it, but I know what you mean. I did see Bardock there, like, shooting a beam at Frieza. But it happened so fast. I was like, what's going on? Are we doing this? Are we doing this? But if they release an extended edition of that scene, I would love that. If not, you know, it's not too big of a loss for the film.
Yeah, to be honest, I was even surprised to see Bardock even trying to go and stop that, because I thought it was just going to be like Dragon Ball Minus, and implied by the trailers, Frieza just shoots the supernova, destroys the planet, and there's no resistance at all.
That would suck, because it would mess up the lore of the Namek arc so much.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not really, but it's just like, it would just take out that whole dialogue of Frieza, like, I think I remember this guy before. He looks like that last Saiyan who tried to fight me in Planet Vegeta.
So anyway, let's go on to the second part of the movie, the rest of the part of the movie, where it takes place in modern day. And I love the transition where it shows like Goku as a kid and Vegeta as a kid, and it's showing, you know, the original Dragon Ball manga, you know, when he's growing up, going to the tournament, fighting Piccolo, and it shows Goku and Vegeta sparring in modern day. Vegeta is wearing his Buu Saga outfit on, which is like, yeah, boy, we're gonna see some.
That music that they used, the Chala, Hey Chala rock version, that was dope. Hearing that along with everything, it felt like a Dragon Ball movie, which it is.
So they're basically sparring, Goku and Vegeta sparring until they, like, you know, get word that the Dragon Balls that Bulma was collecting got stolen. So they're like, oh, Frieza's doing this again. He's up to his no good tricks. Well, better go kick his ass. And I love how Vegeta constantly calls Goku a dumbass, an idiot for resurrecting Frieza. Because I was like, you gotta have consequences for doing that. That was the big thing that irked me in the Universe Survival arc, was Goku resurrecting Frieza, and there was little to no consequence. This movie's the consequence of reviving Frieza.
Essentially, yeah. But now that you really think about it, if Frieza didn't get resurrected, Broly would never exist. Like, he would just die on that planet.
Probably, yeah.
I love how Toriyama managed to, like, combine those two plots just so we can have, like, you know, Broly. We would have had him some other way, though, even if Frieza wasn't alive. But the consequences just makes it all feel human. So, continuing on, the unique way that Frieza actually had his army go and take the Dragon Balls was because, like, those people that went and took them, they had a lower power level, so anyone who actually sensed them, you know, they're not really gonna think anything of it, because they're so low in power. So they grab the Dragon Balls, and it's like they are on their way to the other one, which is actually revealed as they're going over to track those aliens to the last Dragon Ball, which is in the icy location, which, spoiler alert, they're going to be fighting over there. Bulma essentially says,
"Did you know the fighting in ice? The fighting in Iceland. Did you know that? The fighting in Iceland. The movie spoiled."
Essentially, as they're going over there, Bulma's like, man, Goku asks Bulma, like, hey, what do you want to do with those Dragon Balls anyway? Why are you collecting them? Bulma's like,
I want to be 5 years younger. He's like, yeah, Bulma.
Well,
You're doing God's work. You're doing Kami's work right there, girl.
Well,
Keep it up.
why not 10 years?
Because people would notice.
Because
can you imagine if she said like 20 years or 30 years? Like, ooh.
Oh my god.
Vegeta, you're married to a teenager. That's not a good look. Ooh. Ooh.
Okay, and then it's funny because like you then have this transition from Bulma to Frieza, and I thought that was weird when I first saw it. But then the joke that happens with Frieza, where it's like now they're asking Frieza like, "Hey, Lord Frieza, what do you want to do with the Dragon Balls?" And it's like,
I want to be Tala.
They're having this whole guessing session, and I was laughing at that. I know a lot of people, they do not like the fact that Frieza had that wish, but you know, from a comedic perspective, it was weird. But when you actually analyze the character of Frieza, that is petty, that is selfish, and that is Frieza, as Lenny Pator from TFS said.
That, and he could have did the whole Namek thing where he's like, I would wish for immortality. But now he's like, we've seen a growth where he's like, no, because if I was immortal, it wouldn't be fun. Like, I like to keep up the game. It's entertaining. So you see.
Oh no, he actually said that he felt like if he stayed immortal, he would just have a similar fate that he did in Hell. Which then they asked him, why not just be invulnerable? Well, then because it's not fun.
Which is like a good point, because it's like, well, I'm like, you know, the stronger there is, there's no competition, and that's not fun, you know.
So it's like actually cutting back to the part of the film. We get that we like. That's where pretty much everyone meets. Goku and Vegeta, they see those people trying to get the Dragon Ball. That's when Frieza and everyone lands down on Earth, and they have that entire conflict. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, just to let you guys know that the way Broly meets Frieza is because we got some Frieza scouts heading out to other planets to recruit more people. Because, you know, Frieza likes to kill off his men because, you know, he's an asshole like that. So we're introduced to Chile, and I forget what the other guy's name is. I don't know, but gotta love me some.
And how refreshing is it?
Let me just say this: I gotta love me some sexy green ladies.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. There was this whole part where like they actually go and find Broly as well. Like essentially that entire skirt that he's wearing, that is the ear of his only friend in his life, named Ba, which he named because that's the sound that they make.
Yeah, so basically that green fur that you see Broly wear in this movie, it belonged to a huge grassy creature that it was his only friend, Broly's only friend, being raised on that planet, and
that was his ear, bro. That's why Paragus.
Yeah, and Paragus shot off the ear, and Broly kept it.
Essentially, man, I think Paragus, he was one of those people in the movies where it's like, I can understand him, but I still hate the crap out of him.
Paragus,
like,
you're still an asshole. After all these years, you're still an asshole.
Like, he couldn't even let Broly have any fun. He was just like, hey, Broly, train. You need to train. No, you do not have friends. No, just focus on your training. That's the only thing
what are you doing,
matters.
boy? You better be training, boy.
Are you having fun? Did I just catch you having fun? No, train. What are you even training for? You're training on a planet. What? I don't understand why he was having him do that, because it's like, well, if Broly doesn't even want to be a fighter, he's already clearly more powerful than Paragus anyway. Why would he have him continue training if there's essentially no future for them?
Well, he's basically raising a weapon. He's basically raising a weapon to use against Vegeta.
But it's like he knows that planet Vegeta was exploded because of the fact that, well, that guy, before he killed him, he was the one who informed him that planet Vegeta was destroyed.
Well, I think he's just holding out hope, like, you know, if I ever meet, like, I swear, if I meet one of Vegeta's, like, lineage, I swear to God, I'm gonna punch him in the face really hard. I'm gonna have Broly punch him in the face really freaking hard. And you know what? He does. Yeah, Broly does punch Vegeta in the face really freaking hard.
I loved another thing, how she, like, totally lit up as soon as she saw Broly.
Oh my God,
she was
so
like,
kawaii, so.
She was essentially like Vegeta from TFS. Like, oh my God, he's so goddamn cool. So Vegeta and Broly back on Earth, they have this whole fight, and this was one of the coolest fights I've seen, like, animated. And it's like the thing about it is, like, the animation only gets better the more and more they fight. Just that whole start off thing, it was amazing. So Broly, Vegeta, Vegeta's fighting Broly in base form, pow pow bam bam, and then essentially skipping forward, Vegeta in the middle of that fight, he goes Super Saiyan. Paragus sees that and is like, whoa, what is that? And Frieza's like, wait, so can Broly not turn into a Super Saiyan? And Paragus is shocked, like, wait, a Super Saiyan? I thought it was just a myth. And essentially from there, Broly was keeping up with Vegeta and Super Saiyan, but I like the fact that Paragus didn't know what a Super Saiyan was. I wish it would have been a little bit more acknowledgement when, like, Vegeta goes Super Saiyan God, or like, how did Vegeta go Super Saiyan God? I wish Toriyama would have explained that. But yeah, there was actually this really weird frame where it's like, as Vegeta's going Super Saiyan, his hair turns green for like a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed that too, but I think that's just like him going from yellow to red. I think that's like something on the color spectrum.
Oh, no, no, remember, it was just when Vegeta went from base form to yellow, because like when he transformed to Super Saiyan God,
it was base
he was
form.
like
I
in the
think
air
I've seen
spinning
that
and
actually
then God.
before in the anime, the original DBZ anime, where I've seen that kind of where the hair, like when it's black, it slowly goes green and then it goes yellow. I think I've seen that before, so I was like, oh, that's a little cool nod from the old series. So I don't think it's like anything. I think it's just an artistic technique.
Yeah, I think that's really all it is, to be honest.
Vegeta has gone Super Saiyan Green.
He essentially turns Super Saiyan God, beats up Broly, and then Broly comes back out of the water that Vegeta
and he
beat
becomes
him
a
out
Super
of.
Saiyan 4. Confirmed. GT's confirmed.
Essentially, it kind of is, but okay, it's essentially Broly's hair. It spikes up. He's still in base form, but he has the yellow eyes. Essentially, what Paragus says is he managed to take the actual abilities of a great ape, put it into his base form, and great apes, if you want to do a little bit of power scaling, it's essentially regular Broly with a 10 times multiplier, but he completely lost all control of himself. Essentially, I think the only reason, if you gotta ask me, I think that's the only reason why Broly lost so much control of himself was because of the fact that he was partially great ape through that entire thing. If he learned to actually control himself while in great ape, just like how Vegeta did, I think he would, from there, that's how he would continue to evolve later down the line if he were to come back in future films.
I do like that they brought up in this movie, like, yeah, Broly turned into a great ape, and we saw like little glimpses of him as a great ape, and it's like, ooh, hate to see that if that was a thing, like, ooh, because we never got that in the original Broly movie. Like, we're like, wait, what happened to Broly's hair? Why doesn't he turn great ape? They kind of just like, it's just like implied that it got cut off, but I like here they acknowledged it and be like, yeah, Broly, great ape. Ugh. You hate to see it.
Vegeta goes in to punch Broly in the face. Well, Broly just takes it and is like, it's like one of those things. It's just like that Dragon Ball cliche. You punch someone in the face, nothing happens. Broly beats up Vegeta as a Super Saiyan God, and then Goku's like, hey, I want to fight this guy. And so you then get a whole thing with Goku warming up, as you saw in that teaser trailer. And then he goes fighting Broly, starts off in his base form, then goes Super Saiyan. And then he's fighting him even more. He turns Super Saiyan God, and then he, like, in the middle of the fight with that Super Saiyan God, as he goes Super Saiyan God, he does this new technique, which I think is called, people have dubbed it the God binding technique, where essentially he made Broly stay still, and he's like, hey, you're not a bad guy. I can feel it in you.
Oh, I don't think that technique is new. I think I've seen it somewhere before, maybe in a different manga or something, but I don't think it's new. But it is something that has brought more, something that's being brought up more. Although I think I've seen it somewhere, I just don't remember if it was in a manga or a Dragon Ball Super Heroes short. I don't remember, but I've seen that before somewhere. But anyway, yeah, okay. I did like how Goku was like for once in his life was trying to defuse a fight. He's like, you know, I really don't want to kill you, like. You seem like a good person. Like, can we just not? How about we be friends? You and I are a lot alike. How about we just not? And Broly's like, he's contemplating for a second. He's like, almost got him. He's like, but then, you know, Broly, you know, he beats his ass, Goku's ass again.
He loses his senses again, essentially.
Yeah, And he's like, no, my power's Maxima. I'm Super Saiyan 4. I mean, I'm Broly.
And then from that point, Goku he gets beat up so much. We have that it's not
Sean
as
Schemmel was
fast-paced,
screaming
but
a
it's like,
lot in this part. He was screaming his heart out. I was like, did anyone check on Sean in the booth? Is he okay?
Yeah.
We're having the Super
like
Saiyan 3 meltdown again.
It sounded like he actually got gutted.
Yeah, that was brutal. But yeah, so Goku gets tossed around a lot in his Super Saiyan God form, and then he has a little of a telepathic communique with Piccolo, saying like, yeah, we're getting screwed over here. I'll let you know. Just stay where you are, Piccolo, in case we need a instant transmission out of here. But let me see if I can take on this guy. Just stand by real quick. So you have Piccolo.
That scene, in fact, has pissed people off because Piccolo was the only person that acknowledges that they can even sense that fight at all. Honestly, I think people all over the earth did sense that fight, but they only focused on Piccolo to keep the movie at its steady pace, because it would kind of be like taking the time to go and in that one scene to like acknowledge everyone like that they sense this fight would kind of be one of those things where maybe it was in the movie, but it probably just cut out. And keeping it to the point with all of the action and things like that was probably the best thing that they did. I'm glad that they didn't exactly waste too much time with everything, because then I feel like everything would have just gone a little bit slower. Although it would have been good to have a breather, so I do need to play devil's advocate to that comment I just did. It would have been good to have a little bit of a breather through everything, but at the same time, you don't get this much action all at once in a Dragon Ball film, so that's why I feel like it's one of a kind, and it was better that way. So Goku turns Super Saiyan Blue, and in the middle of that transformation, it looks like he's going Ultra Instinct, and people are shocked, like, wait, is Goku turning Ultra Instinct? But no, it was just an art direction thing. It's something that the animator did to kind of make everyone react as Goku's turning Super Saiyan Blue. One of those little teases that they did right there, which, you stinking animator.
I'm fine. I'm actually glad he didn't go Ultra Instinct in this movie, because it's like, once you show off a new technique of form, like, you don't want to overshow it. You don't want to overdo it, because then
then Ultra Instinct is not special.
Yeah, and then you just introduce a new form or technique, and then it's like, well, what the hell was the point of that? It's kind of like with Super Saiyan God. We introduce it, and then we never see it again, except for like little bits. Thank God they showed it in thank God they showed it in this movie, and then they showed it in the series in the Universal tournament arc. So I'm glad that they've shown some love from the other form.
So during the middle of that fight, it looks like Broly's about to lose to Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and then Frieza comes up with a plan, and he essentially shoots Paragus with a death beam, kills Paragus, and then he starts yelling at Broly like, "Oh my God, Broly! It's terrible! Your father has been killed by a stray energy blast!" And then Broly from there, he gets all mad, he powers up, turns Super Saiyan, goes after Goku. So if you do the math, a 50 times multiplier plus the 10 times multiplier he already did is a 500 times multiplier. I'm sorry, I'm being a geek and with this entire thing.
Yeah, Goku and Vegeta get their ass knocked around in Super Saiyan Blue. Although they do put up a good fight, I do see them put up, like, they get some hits on Broly in the Super Saiyan form. But they're like, yeah, it's time to dip out and try something else. Let's try the fusion. And then while they're trying to do the fusion, Frieza is getting his ass knocked around. He's like, okay, I see you're angry, so I'm just gonna go golden. I'm gonna go golden Frieza and just try to give you a good old spanking. But, that doesn't work out, and Broly basically beats around Frieza for like an hour, because Goku and Vegeta keep screwing up the fusion dance, because Piccolo's gotta teach him. That's why Piccolo comes into play in the movie.
There was this one unique thing where it's like, you would think that one of the issues was the way that that they did it with Goten and Trunks, but they actually changed it around, where the issue that time with the fusion was the angle of which Vegeta was at when doing the fusion. After that, Gogeta goes into the fight and I love the dialogue that he had with Frieza. It just gave you it was just like, man, I am Gogeta, I'm the boss around here. I'ma just get stuff done. He goes in there, he starts fighting Broly in his base form, then turns Super Saiyan, and then in the middle of that entire fight with Broly going with him as Broly as a Super Saiyan, the fabric of reality cracks, and then you see Broly and Gogeta fighting in a whole nother dimension, and it was really cool the way that it was doing there. I'll admit, when they were fighting in that cracked dimension, Gogeta, the way that they had Gogeta's hair, it already looked like he was Super Saiyan Blue. I don't know why, but then Broly in there, you can see that the entire thing with the CGI, he turns legendary Super Saiyan. Essentially, he loses his armor.
Berserk Super Saiyan, seeing how they call it, Berserk Super Saiyan.
Oh yeah, and then Gogeta turns Super Saiyan Blue, which it was actually a transformation, but in the theater, it looked like he was just powering up from like a certain standpoint. And then from there, they're fighting even more. Essentially, it wraps up the fight where, in the middle of that fight, Chile, and everyone else, they have the Dragon Balls. They're running, and they essentially summon Shenron, by getting this one guy to actually read out the instructions of how to get Shenron to grant the wish. So the fight essentially wraps up. Gogeta is beating the ever-living life out of Broly, and then he's about to finish him off with a Kamehameha, which actually, if it was me, I would have made it a Gallic Kamehameha.
Or a Big Bang Kamehameha, like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but it's fine.
Yeah, I think Gallic Kamehameha would have fit better, just because, like, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, that move would have just been kept to him.
Oh, so one thing I want to say is that, oh my god. So I thought Broly was really gonna die, and I didn't want him to die. Cause I was like, please.
He had that look of fear on his face as that Kamehameha was going towards him.
For the first time in his life, Broly felt fear. Actually, that's a lie. Broly craps his pants anytime his father brings out the remote that electrifies him, which is pretty tough, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Because he just pulled it out in that spaceship. Paragus pulled out the remote, and Broly was like about to shit himself. I was like, ooh, that's not a good look, King. That is not a good look. So anyway, Chile, Green Bay, she wishes that Broly goes back to his home planet, the planet that he was raised on. And Broly disperses before Gogeta can kill him. And Broly gets zapped back there. Chile and her friend, whose name escapes me, escape from Frieza. Gogeta stops Frieza from blowing them up, and Gogeta and Frieza's like, whatever, I'll come back for this planet soon enough. You win this time, Gogeta. Which is funny because it's like a Saturday night cartoon with Frieza. He's like a Saturday night cartoon villain. He's like, oh, you win this time, Super Saiyan, I'll get you, darn. Which is funny, but that's basically how the movie ends. And Goku visits Broly and Chile on the planet, the Vampire planet. Again, don't remember how to say the name. I know someone in the comments is gonna correct me, but basically Goku's like, no, you guys seem cool, Broly. You seem like a cool guy, and I like to fight you sometime. And he's like, by the way, you can call me Goku, or you just call me Kakarot. So I was like,
That was a cool part to end off the movie with, like, my friends call me Goku, but you, Broly, you can call me Kakarot.
You're my special friend, Broly. You're my super special friend.
I actually like really like that, because essentially from there, Goku is having acceptance of his Saiyan race. From like the very beginning of Dragon Ball, Goku's like, no, I'm not a Saiyan. I was raised on Earth. I'm a human. He never, even though he knew on that Namek, he was a Saiyan, he always raised like a human.
Actually, to correct you, on Namek, he goes, I'm a Saiyan raised on Earth. So he is like taking pride that he is a Saiyan, but he's just saying like, I'm not like the other Saiyans, but I am a Saiyan, but I'm just from Earth. I'm more
I know, but
Earth.
in a lot of the movies, for example, like Goku's character, he said, only my friends call me Kakarot. You don't get to call me Kakarot. And so yeah.
But anyway, I really enjoyed the movie. It was a lot of fun, and it had a lot of character moments that I really liked. And yeah, it's one of my top 5 favorite DBZ Dragon Ball films. And yeah, what do you? I'll leave the rest of the thoughts to you.
Honestly, in my opinion, I love what Toriyama did with this film. I love how he executed so much and made it all. Even though the very beginning part felt a little bit rushed at the end of that, overall the movie I felt still flowed pretty good for the most part. I gotta say, on a scale of 1 to 10 for everything in this movie, I gotta give the movie a 9 out of 10. Really well done. Love the execution. And yeah. Anyway, guys. Champ, you have any last words you want to say before we wrap this stuff up?
So I would give the movie 7 Dragon Balls out of 7 Dragon Balls, and I would give Chile 2 balls out of 2 balls.
Oh. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, go ahead and do what you do to the videos that you love. Anyway, guys, it's been Star Blast Studios and
Champ96DP. Be sure to subscribe to Star Blast Studios, and you know what? Go over to my channel, and be sure to give this video a like, comment, subscribe, all that neat stuff.
Alright, guys, we'll see you again in the comment section. Until then.
Ciao!